trying to just get the carrot out in front to trick yourself, because part of your brain knows is what you need to do. The other part's talking yourself out of it. Like, no, it's okay if I don't do it. We don't need to do it. But that's a different version of you saying that. The version of you that wants you to win needs to be louder. And that's why I try and be that voice for people. Let's find a way to make this work today.
Today's guest is Adrienne Eades. She's a lifter, runner, and strength and conditioning coach. She's also the owner of Stronger in Stride, a training community for lifters and runners to build strength and resilience in and out of the gym. Adrienne is an incredible athlete. Last year, she finished not one, but 2 marathons in Chicago and Paris, along with the Chicago Triathlon. Sometimes I look at Adrienne and I think there's nothing she can't do. And so Stronger in Stride really does feel like the perfect name for your company. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Quite the intro. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to interview you. We're going to start out with a funny question. It's a would you rather. Would you rather have to skip everywhere, or every time you go down the stairs have to scoot on your bottom?
Skip everywhere or scoot?
Yeah, there's no walking. There's only skipping. There's no going down the stairs. There's only scooting.
I would say I would rather have to scoot down the stairs.
Can you imagine being at the mall?
I mean, right.
There'd be less exposure to the butt scooting.
Yes.
But then in the, like, if you're in a public place and you're like, oh, I'll catch up with you guys.
Yeah.
And then you gotta scoot. But with skipping, you literally have to be skipping.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to go to the bathroom, I'd be like, right back, guys. And I just have to it would just be way more embarrassing.
Or you could do like elevator, escalator. There are loopholes on the stairs. Unless you're here. Let's say you're at someone's house and you have to exit down the stairs and you're like, shit, I have to scoot.
I imagined you go to it like a very formal event,
Yeah.
and it just happens to be up or down the stairs, and you're scooting up the stairs or scooting down.
Oh my God.
In like a full ball gown.
One of those galas where they announce you and you have to scoot into the gala.
The music just stops and it's like, doom, doom, doom.
Oh.
But then we're all like, oh, they answered that would you rather question as scoot. So we would not be embarrassed for them.
I would scoot.
I would scoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skipping's fun, but my cardio is not good. So
Skipping everywhere would be a tall order, I feel.
there was a guy who used to work out in my parents' neighborhood, and I can't even physically show it, but he would run. He would do this power walk, and he would be like hunched over and power walking, but he would swing his arms like this. And I was always like, that is ridiculous. And I tried to do it, and it's insane exercise. And he was clearly comfortable looking ridiculous. But I wish we could cut to a clip of the guy doing it.
Oh, me too.
But that's just not in the cards.
Maybe one day with AI. Damn
Oh
it.
my God.
Or we'll film some B-roll. Unless you wanted to do it.
I could maybe try it. Maybe we'll do it later. It's like, come train with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Come train with me.
This is what we'll do. Came up with this one earlier.
Stride, but it's like
Yeah.
now there's a variation. It's a skip. It's a skip level.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. There was a TikTok trend where they were asking people to try and skip, but you have to move your same leg and same arm at the same time, but nobody could do it. It's very funny.
When you skip, same leg and same arm at the same time.
Yeah.
Up.
It's basically impossible. It's like your arms help to motivate the legs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Maybe we can insert
I buy it. I don't think I could do it.
I'm curious.
We'll try later.
Yeah.
I'll videotape
Like,
it for
this
Adrienne.
is a podcast where we need to have a drone and do outdoor stuff now. We've kind of backed ourselves into that corner.
God darn it. Well, enough of that. Enough of the silliness. Let's get to all the exciting stuff.
Yes.
Because I'm very interested to learn about you and your backstory.
Sure.
I'm very fascinated by the fact that entrepreneurs typically go to school for one thing and then their business becomes another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone with a background in studio art, I wanted to know what drew you into strength and conditioning.
I grew up, my parents are both art people. My dad owned his own sign shop, making signs, and my mom graphic design. So I was around that sort of thing my whole life. And then I went to college for studio art, emphasizing in drawing. And I started with ceramics, and then I kind of went to drawing, which is what I graduated in. And I guess that was always sort of like what I saw myself doing growing up, probably because I had the influence of my parents. And then, once you graduate in that degree. The options where I am from are, relatively limited in that field. Being from Southern Indiana, there's not, large museums like here in Chicago. Depending on what you wanted to do, like moving somewhere else was probably going to be required. And if I wanted to, work more in that arena, I would have probably needed to have gone to like master's school or graduate school, achieve a master's, which I was open to, but I just wasn't sure exactly like what I wanted to do for sure in that world. I thought I wanted to work at a museum whenever I was going to school for studio art. And then I did some internships there and decided that that wasn't really for me. And then I got into Bikram yoga, which is a little bit more of an intense style of yoga during that time when I was in college. And then I moved here to Chicago. I worked in hospitality and I found strength training after I moved to Chicago. At that point in my life, I wasn't super happy with a few aspects of my life. I wasn't really happy with how I looked. I wasn't really happy emotionally, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing like in my career. Like I was working in hospitality, bartending, serving, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can make an amazing living doing those things, and many people are passionate about it. It just wasn't my calling or my passion. So, yeah, it's also very physically demanding. The hours are tough. And if you don't have a passion for that, then that makes it harder. But really, at that point, I was just trying to knock out one thing, which was like, okay, I don't really love how I'm feeling about myself or how I'm feeling mentally right now. And my partner, Sam, was like, you should do weightlifting because you need to get this out. You have all this like energy, all these feelings. You need to go and put it towards something. And I was kind of like, yeah, but I don't know how to like do any of that. So, I didn't know what to do. I literally didn't know how to lift at that point in my life. But I was telling my hairdresser at the time about it. And she was like, oh, you should go to this gym and check out, these trainers and see what you think. And so I did that. And then at that point, that was basically when I fell in love with lifting because it was just such a catharsis for a lot of the like anger and just dissatisfaction I was having at that point in my life. So
it is a great outlet for people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you realize how much it can impact your life in a positive way until you start doing it. And I'm sure too, I mean, the other benefit of that is your body starts to change.
Yeah.
When you become strong as a woman, there's a lot of empowerment, I think, behind that also. Some days I think there's nothing I can't do because I'm so strong. I can go pick that dumb thing up.
Yeah.
If someone attacks me, I'll admittedly stronger to defend myself in those moments. You know what I mean? Do you feel that way?
With lifting? Yeah, I think, and I kind of relate to I was a bartender for a while, and even when you bartend and you're physically tired, your brain is still like, there's no real mental work. And I always remember being physically tired, but like mentally really on still. And so I think weightlifting is a good outlet for that, which is kind of weird because it's just physical, but it also makes your mind tired. I don't know, it's because you have to like kind of push through stuff.
You have to be extroverted all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You really do. And I think that I'm certainly more of an introverted person. So having to be on all the time in that way with people that you don't know, you don't have a connection to them like you might have with your clients. It's a different sort of connection. It's not a very personal connection that I found at least. So that was tiresome for me. And some people love it and they thrive in that. It just wasn't for me long term.
I could see where the passion would come in because I'm a extroverted introvert. So when I was a bartender, I actually hated having regulars because if I wasn't like on and not like I'm going to be like, oh, check out this bottle. Like it was super fun job and the lifestyle was fun. But with like fitness or like anything that you're passionate about, it's easier to be extroverted because then when you're in your zone of genius, you blossom more. So I see how that would be like kind of an exhausting thing.
Yeah, for sure. At one point, I really liked what I was selling too. I worked at a wine bar selling champagne and nice wines. So it wasn't a bad situation in a lot of ways. I learned a lot about wine and loved all that. But yeah, ultimately when the pandemic happened, that was when I really made the shift because literally bars were closed down. So it was like opportunity to be certified in strength training, to be a trainer and get certified in yoga, to kind of pursue that once things reopen. So that was my my break.
So cool. I met Adrienne at the gym, and she had just started as a trainer. She had this goal of leaving this big box gym that she was working at to come to this smaller gym and really work for herself. And it's really been exciting to see her do that over the last handful of years.
Yes. Do you remember when I said, if I can make it 3 years?
Yes, I do.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And that was at least 3 years ago now.
Yeah, it has to be. And
yeah,
I see her probably every day I go. For the most part, I see her and she is thriving. You can just see how much you connect in with your clients. You can see how much they connect in with you, the way that they look to you for guidance and trust. It's just really empowering, especially women just aren't always given this space to show up in empowerment, especially in a male dominated gym that we go to, let alone a male dominated arena like the free weights area of the gym.
Yes.
So I love that you give this back to women. It's just should be celebrated more and more.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure they would thank you too.
Oh.
So training for a marathon or triathlon is truly no joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. It takes dedication. There's a lot of mental fortitude that goes behind it. I wanted to know if you could tell us about the ups and downs and what you've learned along the way. I've seen this girl running around town multiple times. There's one day I was on the porch and I said, I think that was Adrienne that just ran by in this cute little pink outfit. Sure enough, the next day she's like, oh yeah, I was doing a 12-mile run yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah, just a 12-mile run. As I'm sitting on the porch, probably eating, not running.
Having a breakfast, having some breakfast. Yeah. Things I've learned. Well, so also I guess I'll start with the ups and the downs. So ups and downs. Downs, I would say, like the challenges I faced. Well, there's logistics. There's only so many hours in the day. So I was training for the triathlon and I had done a super sprint like the year before, which is basically the third of a full triathlon. So triathlon sizes, it's like super sprint, and then a sprint, and then Olympic distance triathlon, and then after that, there's like 70.3 or a half Ironman, as it's commonly referred to as, because Ironman, the brand, is like a big triathlon company. There's others, but a 70.3 distance, and then the full distance, which is 140, is a full Ironman, which I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Ironman is like the only like company that has that distance. I don't think there's another company that does. A full Ironman distance is a 2.4 mile swim. It's a 112 mile bike and then a marathon to finish, if that wasn't already enough fun for you. I did an Olympic distance, which was a 1.5 mile swim, 25 mile bike, and a 10K at the end. So 6 miles.
Crazy.
So, I had my work cut out for me in the swimming department. I literally did not know how to swim in an open body of water prior. I mean, I could swim, but not well. And so I literally trained my booty off for months for that.
In Lake Michigan, or do you go to a pool?
We did both. So I hired a coach and I would meet with her once a week, sometimes twice a week. And then I also was going to a master swim class through CES, Chicago Endurance Sports. And then once the water warmed up, I would go to the lake. I would try and get down there like once a week. I would say that was both a high and a low. Like, it was great to like finish the swim, do the swim, PR my swim time. And it was also so much effort and anxiety beforehand that was totally fueling in a good way, right? Because you want to like do well, you want to achieve this, something you've never done, but you also have this fear that like, if you don't train for this, you will not probably be able to do it. So that was definitely like a high and a low. And then the logistics of training for everything was a challenge because there's only so many hours in the day, but it was done and I enjoyed it. And I can't wait to eventually do a bigger one.
Were you always into fitness?
No, not really.
Was it like none at all, or were you athletic when you were younger? Sports or anything?
I did do dance when I was younger, from the age of like 4th grade to 15. I did dance, and then I did, like I said, Bikram yoga when I was in college, got pretty into that, and then started strength training later in my adult life. So I didn't play any sports when I was growing up.
Someone who got into fitness at
Mhm.
the degree that you're into later in life and who's now thrown themselves into it,
Mhm.
I would argue as a high level athlete, what would you say to someone who wants to go from essentially being maybe a person who sits on their couch and wants to be more active?
Mhm.
What advice would you give to a person like that?
I would say set small and attainable goals. So if someone's like, I don't know how to lift any weights, I don't know how to swim, but I want to do like a half Ironman or a full Ironman, or maybe I want to run a 5K, I would just, those could all be like substantial goals depending on the individual. So I would just say start small and check those boxes to keep proving to yourself that you can do it. Because building those little building blocks along the way will keep you motivated and keep you going. Some people who I've, seen in my life, they're like, oh, I want to do this thing. And then they don't, know exactly how to go about it. And so they just throw everything at it and then it doesn't continue because it's not sustainable. So I would say start small.
Yeah, that those big sprints in the beginning that then burn you out. You're like, I'm just going to throw myself full into it. I've done that before.
Then you don't do it
Yes.
at all.
Yeah, because then you're just burned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do in those days where you said the triathlon schedule? I can only imagine how difficult that schedule is because I've seen marathon running schedules. What I believe I remember is you typically have shorter runs during the week and then you have a really long run on Sunday. If you're training for running, biking, and swimming each week, how do you keep your head in the game? How do you schedule that? How do you not miss every single day and sleep in and find the drive to keep going?
That's a good question. I guess like in the triathlon and the marathon, because they are both time consuming, demanding training schedules, I think I just think about the end goal and what I want in the end to happen. And that's one piece of it. It's like, well, I really want to see this through all the way. I don't want to cut any corners with it. And then I want to be really proud of myself as well. I don't want to look back and be like, well, you skipped a few of those runs or you kind of threw in the towel when you're a little bit tired. So I find that those are all chances to prove to yourself that you can do it and you deserve it. And that's going to make that finish line that much better. So that's what I tell myself.
Today I had a call with my business coach and we were talking about pride. And men are often taught to be very proud of themselves, but women aren't always taught to be proud of themselves. So I love that you're speaking to this because I have a really hard time saying, no, I'm really proud of myself. I did this thing.
Yeah.
But we should be celebrating those small moments and then
They're
the great
moments.
achievements at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. It's pride. And it's also, I view a lot of the training as a kind of an act of self. It sounds super cheesy, but it's self-love. That discipline that you're committing to yourself is self-love.
Yeah.
Like you brought yourself here, you're doing this, you're crossing the finish line. The way I view it in fitness in particular, literally anything I want to do, I can do. I just have to, put in the time and put in the effort. And as long as I can withstand that or endure that process, like I can achieve it. So I just try and remember that when it gets hard.
It's really inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
Have you heard the saying, discipline is freedom? What does that mean to you?
I've heard that a lot. And when I was newer in my fitness journey, I would hear that and I'd be like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean? I don't know what that means. And now I do kind of know what that means. I know more so what that means. You can do these things. You can literally do anything. If you want to run Boston in 4 years, if you want to do your Ironman, or if you want to do your powerlifting meet, all these things are possible. And you can get that freedom, but you will have to earn that freedom. The freedom isn't just handed to you in your lap. It will have to be endured. The process will have to happen.
I love that. I find that is one of those sayings that over time I've understood more. Because in the beginning, you're like, freedom is being able to have autonomy, but you earn autonomy. And I like how you define it as the ability to do things that you want to do.
Yeah.
But it requires discipline to earn.
Yeah.
Because all of these are you against you. It's just you against whatever block you have going on in your brain. And how often do we, to your point earlier, start something, go so hard and then forget about it and never do it again and then have the regret later? Be able to show up for yourself. Like, I can do this thing. I can actually show up for myself. That translates to all other areas of life. You're going to trust yourself even more. And that's going to fill back into that self-love and self-care.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you feel like you can do anything you want now.
I mean, I feel like it's incrementally growing. Yes, it's growing with each thing. I have a lot more, let me say, I have a lot more confidence now than I did a year ago or 3 years ago. And we're like a different person from 2020. We are not the same, me and her.
We are not the same.
We are not the same. Not at all.
Stronger with Stride is such a powerful name. Could you give us some insight as to why you picked the name, what it means, what the mission is behind Stronger with Stride?
Mm-hmm. I came up with that name actually on a run, which sounds funny, but I was running, and whenever I run, I think about everything, or I don't think about anything. It's kind of like the meditation time. So I had been thinking about a rebrand or what I wanted to achieve business wise and what direction I was heading in. And I was thinking, take it in stride, stronger in stride. So whenever I think of like running, I think of endurance, I think of resilience, lifting, I think of mental strength, physical strength. And, I love both of them. When I think of yoga, I think of balance. There's also endurance. There's also strength and softness, taking things both physically in stride, literally running, lifting, but then also mentally taking it in stride. My mission in Stronger in Stride is to help others through lifting and running both feel stronger physically and mentally and build resilience.
Resilience.
Yes.
Which can be translated to anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You kind of described how your fitness journey is and your ability to create this discipline has empowered you to be more confident in all areas of your life. Yeah. What are some of the transformations in the physical and mental space you've seen for your clients?
The changes I've seen in my clients, well, I've seen some of my clients over the years go from shy in the gym, not wanting to come in on their own, not feeling confident to be in the space alone or like to lift alone, to now doing their own workouts solo, coming in the gym, just taking ownership of their workouts more so, which I love to see. One client really comes to mind. She is so sweet. She started lifting with me as a total beginner, and she came to me as a runner, hoping to fix some injuries with her knee and glutes. And she had been feeling that from running. And so we were working on that together. And recently she signed up for 2 marathons next year. She's ran 1 marathon so far and has been casually running, but to do 2 marathons in 1 year, I feel is such a big step in a direction. And I'm like, wow, you're really doing it. I love to see people start to really believe in themselves. You can see people grow from being a little bit maybe shy or unsure about certain things and then be like, oh, well, I can do that. Well, she did it. Maybe I could do it. And when I see that, I get really proud of them.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you've done so much too has to be a great driving force when your clients see you as an inspiration. It's like, well, she can do it. I can do it. Especially talking to your background. You came from an art background. And quite honestly, when you think of artists, you don't think of athletes. They usually don't come together. And for you to transition from one to the other and to even come from a family that wasn't necessarily an athletic family, they were more artsy background, it just shows that if you really want to do it, to your point earlier, you can literally do anything. You can just do it. But you just need help sometimes. And that's why they should call you.
Yeah. I would say having a plan is key, and having someone to help guide you through that plan is also very helpful, especially if you're new or maybe you've hit some plateaus or if you have some injuries and you're like, wow, why does my knee keep hurting when I run all the time, but I don't strength train? Those are things that strength training or having a trainer would help you out.
Your body's talking to you.
Yes.
Like, we need help in this area.
We need help.
Call Adrienne.
We need to strengthen the glutes and the quadriceps quickly. Yeah, for sure.
How do you encourage people? Okay, so let's say this client, she hasn't done her big run because she didn't feel like it. What would you say to her? What advice would you give her?
I would just be curious as to what was that feeling to make you not feel like it? Were you sick, or say more about why you didn't feel like it? And then depending on their answer, maybe people are tired. People work full-time jobs and have other responsibilities. So it would make sense that maybe you're tired. And then maybe we would just talk about scheduling. Like, is there a way for you to block out time earlier in the week, or what can we do scheduling wise to maybe help you get that run in? Try and help troubleshoot that way.
I do feel like it's a lot of mental block for people. It's like today it's 100 degrees outside. I can see why someone wouldn't want to go running today.
Yeah.
And how do you find that courage deep down to say, okay, like I know this is what I have to do. This is my plan. I have to stick to it.
Yeah.
I would be I'm going to sit at home and have a popsicle.
Right. But and also it's like, well, okay, so maybe you didn't do the full run, but what if we just did half of it? And then honestly, once you're halfway done, it's like, well, we've done half, so we might as well finish the other half. It's like, what little tricks can you do? Maybe we'll have the popsicle after we run. Maybe we can go somewhere else for a popsicle after we run. Trying to just get the carrot out in front to trick yourself, because part of your brain knows is what you need to do. The other part's talking yourself out of it. Like, no, it's okay if I don't do it. We don't need to do it. But that's a different version of you saying that. The version of you that wants you to win needs to be louder. And that's why I try and be that voice for people. Let's find a way to make this work today.
How are you able to cultivate that winning self in yourself and then help others cultivate that?
That's a good question.
I love the last answer, by the way.
Yeah.
It was really, really powerful. I feel like that's going to be the opener.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think about who I want to be in a sense. Like, what would that person do? And then would that person who wants to do X, Y, and Z not do this today? And I have coaches. I've had a great handful of coaches. I picked all of those coaches because I respect them and because there's something about them that I truly admire. Every single one of my coaches I look up to big time. So I'm like, would they not do it? No, they would go do it. They're not going to look for an excuse. I think at first, particularly at the beginning of my fitness journey, that was huge. And then over time, I realized that's just me seeing something in them that's in me. Once you realize that person is also in me, that drive that they have is also in me. So I just need to harness that and use that to be the person I want to be in the future, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're looking at a quality in someone else and saying, I admire that. I want to embody that, to eventually realize you had that all along, especially when we go into a new endeavor. We don't have the proof of concept, which essentially creates the confidence. And then once you prove, oh, I can do this, I do have that inside me. So you essentially are a big part of what you're doing is enabling people to prove to themselves that they can do these tough things that would make them feel like so much more power.
Yes. I love that. That's a perfect way of putting it. That's awesome.
I think having a coach is invaluable. I've always had coaches on and off with lifting, because you don't know what you don't know. Especially, I'm not an expert. I can watch a bunch of YouTube videos or look at diagrams and read about how I'm supposed to do a movement. But I don't necessarily know when my hips are popping a little to the left during my squat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's certain tweaks that you just aren't aware of. And I think having a coach really helps you figure out what you're doing right and wrong, so you can avoid injuries in the future, and so you can get better, you can get stronger, all the different things. So I definitely want to get a coach. If you don't have a coach, like if nothing else, for them to write you a program so that you can work the muscle groups properly, because you might think you're doing all the right things, but you probably aren't.
Sure. Yeah. From a practical standpoint, absolutely. Like, there's a science to it, and it helps to have another partner or another brain to kind of look things over or think about things. For example, if someone wants to really like grow their bench, it's like, well, we need to really work on your back strength then too. We need to complement things. We can't just do push-ups every single day. You'll get better at push-ups, but we want to build your bench to 2 plates. We got to do some back kind of a thing.
Big time.
One thing I've noticed I'm a big golfer. And so I'll like film my swing. I'll go on YouTube and I'll be like, all right, I'm going to fix this thing. And then I'll implement like the latest tip and makes it worse or breaks something else. So when you have a coach and you have an expert who has seen like hundreds, thousands of people do a thing, you can go, oh, okay, so this is good, but then you just need to do this. Whereas when people try to tinker, it's like you don't know what you don't know. And you, as someone who's watching people do strength training like over the course of many years, you can like easily be like, okay, here's the tweak that's gonna be the game changer. And I think that's why there's so much value in coaching.
Yes.
Especially the powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to get stronger, if you want to hit certain weight, your movement has to be essentially perfect.
And not injure yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to move it up.
Yeah, you're not
easier,
going to be able
faster.
to move up in weight if you don't know what you're doing or if you're not doing it correctly.
So I learned that the hard way. I was doing a strong lifts 5x5. Anyone who's not familiar with that, it's like an A-B where it's just squat, deadlift,
Bench.
press, and bench, right?
Yep.
And then row. And so I'm like increasing the squat. It was like the heaviest I'd ever squatted at a particular time. And I didn't warm up because, you know, like lions don't warm up, right? Obviously, which is also why I tore my Achilles. But
Oh no. Was that day?
no, it was not that day, but now I warm up. But you ever seen the movie Zombieland where Woody Harrelson's like, I don't believe in it. He's like, does a lion warm up? But clearly I'm not a lion. So anyway, so I go to squats like 3 plates. And as I'm pushing up, I literally like my inner, I didn't even know there was a muscle in my inner thigh. And I completely pulled it and I like couldn't squat for like 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
So super important to have proper form, have someone to
warm up,
tell you what to do.
Is that your adductor?
Yeah. Adductor? Yeah. That's
I'm an athlete.
This one?
Yeah. The adduction.
Yeah,
moving inward.
Adductor today, actually. That's the outer one.
On the machine?
Yeah, the machine.
You probably looked really cool doing it.
Well, what's funny is when I first started doing those, because my workout plan has them in there, I was like, it's like a girl exercise. But it actually helps a ton for squatting. Yeah.
Gluteus medius?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm not a trainer, but I pretend I am. It's really nice. So Adrienne does these group classes on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been lifting for so long. I always think that I do have good form, but I don't. Like, she'll definitely remind me, like, hey girl, like, don't forget you're doing this. Like, even just small movements. And then all of a sudden you notice different in the muscle. Mm-hmm. If you want results, I think having a coach is going to get you there faster. If you just want to go to the gym and fuck around and be on your phone, which some people do, and you aren't looking to really excel in your physicality and your strength, whatever it is, then do it on your own. But I swear, like, having someone like Adrienne will get you to your goals so much faster. I just can't like preach it enough. I really can't.
Yeah. I mean, the part of it is I also think keeping people focused on what we're doing and think about what we're doing, because it can be easy. People are busy thinking about what am I going to eat for dinner later? What is so-and-so doing? It's like, all right, let's think about the glutes. Are we feeling it in the glutes? Are we feeling it here? What are we thinking about? Core, shoulders down and back. You know, it's like keeping people in the game, so to speak, as well.
So now that you are an entrepreneur and you've been doing this for years now, what are some of the lessons that you've learned from that side of the business?
Oh my God.
I'm sure there's a lot.
There's so many lessons. There are so many lessons. I would say the lessons I have learned are, first of all, patience. Just all the patience in the world will help everything. I would also say that with what I do, it's so interpersonal, training one-on-one, a lot of different personalities, all sorts of people. I love all my clients. We have a great rapport. And over the years, you train at big box gyms, train at small gyms. I would say people are normally not ever all good or all bad, but we all have so many different sides to ourselves. And it's just about navigating those sides and finding harmony to work together. That would be another lesson I would say I've learned. As far as sales and marketing go, being authentic and just being myself and doing things that I really love tends to work best for me. You know, like whenever I'm in a marathon prep or whenever I'm doing lifting and preparing for a photo shoot, something like that, that's when I feel really passionate about my goals. And that's when people tend to be drawn towards me. I'm not sure if that is a coincidence, but that seems to work.
State.
A flow state, yeah.
Right? You're in flow. People can feel your energy. Yeah.
I think that whenever I'm really passionate about what I'm working on, that's when I have the most sort of like, I'm not sure the word.
Magnetism?
Yeah. magnetism. I feel like people are curious about it. They feel that passion and they want to know more about it, or maybe they want a little bit of that, or I'm not sure, but that seems to help. As far as sales pitch and all that stuff, at this point in time, that is not my style. I like to lead or, have sales and marketing via passion and being myself.
Yeah. I have a background in sales.
Uh-huh.
And so early in my career, I was just hungry to sell anything. Mm-hmm. But the longer I got and further I got into my career, I noticed that I really couldn't sell things that I didn't even believe in provided some value. Yes. So I think your passion for what you do makes it so you may not even realize it doesn't feel like selling because you're really not, but you're just kind of bringing someone into your universe.
Yes.
And you're like, I believe in this so much. And like, they can feel that. Yeah. And they're like, I want to be part of that.
Yes, that's so true.
This is why authenticity is also so important. You're being authentic to yourself. I like these things. I'm passionate about them, and people can't help but be drawn to them. And now you've been able to make a business, and a successful business at that, out of it. It's a great lesson for everybody to just trust yourself.
Yes.
There's so many people that are out of alignment that just don't allow themselves to show up in the way that they want to show up. So thank you for being an example to everyone watching today.
Thank you.
We need more of that.
Yeah. Whenever I trust myself and follow these passions, I feel things just work out more. They fall into place.
Yeah, it's probably more fun too.
Yes.
As an entrepreneur, obviously there was some skill acquisition you needed to do. Yeah. So what were some of the skills that you needed to learn? What was that process? And how can other people moving into a world like that get more comfortable being uncomfortable while they learn those things?
Yeah. I would say if anyone wants to be an entrepreneur, just sharpening up communication skills are huge. I mean, there's, the back end things, admin things are all useful. Organization is obviously useful, but communication, I find in the people business, for me, it's 100% communication. And then also having mentors, that has also been key. I was certified. I have a NASM certification and I have a 200-hour yoga, psychologically sensitive yoga certification. So those were instrumental in what I do now. But the communication and then learning from mentors and coaches, that's been really where I've learned the most, I would say.
How does someone sharpen their communication skills to where they become effective if maybe they aren't a natural communicator?
I feel like you're a very good communicator.
Yes.
Quite
Think
honestly.
So?
Extremely.
Yeah. And I would say as someone who's a partial client, you're a very good communicator in that space. You are really clear about setting expectations. And people don't always do that.
I would say the thing that just keeps coming up in my brain is, I'll be honest, it's therapy is a huge thing.
Yeah.
To be totally transparent, communicating, understanding where other people are coming from, understanding how other people might be feeling in this scenario. What would they like to know as an expectations? Clear as kind, the great words of Brene Brown, which is she's a psychologist. She has a few books, but love her books. And as far as communication goes, there are certain rules that I like to try and follow, which is giving everyone the benefit of the doubt, trying to relay my own goals and thoughts and expectations clearly, kindly, and firmly.
Firmly is a good word to add to that.
As needed. Firmly. Depends obviously on the people in the situation.
Yeah, that's boundary setting.
Yes. Much on boundaries, which is not a skill, yeah, it's a skill. Setting boundaries is absolutely a skill. Communicating is absolutely a skill. It's a skill that always has room to grow, is what I would say. So, yeah, we learn. But communication is, as an entrepreneur, honestly, I would say number one skill.
What's interesting is that I used to look at extroverts and say, man, they're so good at communicating. But then I had a coach that I'd worked with who helped me understand the flip of that, where introverts are actually better at communicating because they had to become more deliberate. And working on the skill actually causes you to become more efficient at it. Like I get burned out after a full day of meetings and talking to people, whereas an extrovert's like getting charged up. But my communication is essentially more effective because I've spent time working on it. I feel like you may be an introverted extrovert or extroverted introvert, where like you have the ability to create extroversion, but like you also need some chill time.
Oh yeah.
But I think those people are the most effective communicators because you're more intentional.
Yeah, your words matter. And the therapy thing is incredible. As a healer, what I do is a kind of a form of therapy. And Joe and I both actively talk about that and how you need a third party sometimes to bounce ideas off of, talk things through. To your point of why you started doing the strength and conditioning was to get some of the stress out. And
Yes,
that's what therapy also does, is it helps to get some of the stress out. I think it's extremely valuable when you have someone that you can talk to about your problems to just, if nothing else, vent it out and get perspective. So thanks for talking to that.
yeah. It's like, this is what I want to say. How do I say it well? Help me. And that is good.
It is.
Therapy is good.
For me, it's always been a good place to. I'm an external processor, and
Same.
especially if you are like have a partner and you don't want to burden them with all of your problems, and you have this third party that you can just like throw things out at. Like when I'd be in therapy and I'd be like just talking, and I'd be like, oh shit, like I would be like solving the problem, but I needed to just talk it out. You know, and it's one of those things where I think a lot of especially like the healing work, and maybe you can agree with this, I think people actually have the tools to fix themselves, but sometimes we don't understand that. And it's almost like your clients they could like eventually run a marathon, but they don't believe it yet. And so we're helping people get to this place where then they can self-soothe or self-accomplish.
The toolkit. Building the toolkit.
The toolkit. I love it.
That's awesome.
It's so great.
Yes.
So what's next for Adrienne?
My goodness.
Well, how many more triathlon marathons have you signed up for?
This year I'm doing CIM, which is the California International Marathon. I'll be doing that December 7th. That'll be in Sacramento. It'll be 50 degrees overcast, hopefully.
Nice.
So loving that. I'll start training for that in September. And then I don't have any marathons, powerlifting meets, or anything on the books yet for 2026, which is wild to say. We'll see how CIM goes. And then, I don't know. I'm definitely going to do some more marathons. I have a long time goal of different things in running and then, triathlon, but one thing at a time. So CIM, and then I would love to do Berlin Marathon in September of 2026. All the world majors are lotteries though. And so you have to put your name in, and then if you get chosen, then you're in. If not, you can, raise money for a charity or do other things to potentially be selected. But yeah, CIM is the only thing I have on the docket right now.
I forgot you did powerlifting meets. How many of those have you done?
I've done one. It was Becca's. It was awesome.
Okay.
It was Iron Minds Pulls for Hope. So that was fun.
Do you want to tell us your numbers or your goal?
It was deadlift meet only.
Yeah.
I literally did it about 2 or 3 weeks after the Paris Marathon. I was not properly prepped for it, as I just went out there and did it for fun, and a handful of my clients did it. I have to go and like support them and do this. I'm not gonna just stand there. I wanted to fully support them. I wanted to fully back it.
Yeah. Or then what's your PR for deadlift normally?
I'm going to retest it soon, but my PR for deadlift is like 280. I want to get to 315. So that's my goal.
I think you'll do it.
That's impressive. I was just doing the plate calculation in my mind. Was that 245s and a
quarter
and a 25?
Yes.
It looked like just
45s.
Yeah, and a little 2.5 on each side.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And one thing you mentioned, which I was thinking about, and I think this is where so much value in having a strength and conditioning coach is, like I just increased my deadlift, but not by deadlifting. It was by strengthening my lower back and my hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I used to hurt my lower back every time I deadlifted. So I started doing the Sunday mornings What's the
Good mornings.
is that what they're called? They're not called Sunday mornings. On Sunday morning.
Oh my God.
I like your option.
This one, where
Yeah.
the things here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right?
Because you're like,
Yes, it's a good morning.
good morning. Like how you pop up.
Yeah, actually,
And hamstring raises. But now, like, I can like fully go back. And like, actually, I used to never stretch this way. But now I'm like trying to stretch my back this way as much as possible.
Reverse hyper is what you should do.
But it wasn't by deadlifting more. It was by working out other things that then supported my deadlift. But I would have never known that if someone wasn't like, here's what you need to do. And I was like, oh, really? I don't just
Deadlift.
keep deadlifting and injuring myself. Because I was like, I guess I just can't deadlift anymore.
Accessories are important, and you need a coach to write your program for you.
Gotta do those accessories.
One thing I wanted to ask you, because you seem to be excited about doing hard things. Like when you're getting excited, like I can sense your excitement about wanting to do a marathon. And in my mind, I'm like, that sounds awful. But you're really excited about it. And I want to be excited about doing hard things in my life. How do you build that mindset?
How do I build the mindset of wanting to do hard things?
Or like getting excited about it, or like what goes into the
yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I going to be at the end of it? Because I think it's going to be better than me now. It's like the transformation is what I think really inspires me, just to keep doing hard things, because you're going to learn stuff about yourself. When you're really struggling and when you're really doing hard things, that's when you learn the most about yourself. And at the end of it, at the end of the Paris Marathon, it's like, I just ran a marathon. No one can tell me shit right now. You like just have so much, like, you just back yourself that much harder. The confidence that you gain from these things, the transformation, personally, that's a big driver for me. Embracing the hard things.
How much do you think of that is a subconscious message you're sending to yourself? Like, wow, I'm like, it might be like, I'm awesome, I can do hard things, or even I love myself.
It's totally all of that. And how much of it is conscious and how much of it is subconscious is hard to say. I honestly, the marathon training, speaking to what we were talking about earlier, there are highs and there are lows, and it is very time consuming running at one point I was doing 6 days of running a week on the last marathon prep, and I was still lifting 3 days a week and working full time. And my partner's super supportive of me, and during those times he's always taking care of more things around the house. So it's all to say, you're asking yourself, why do I do this? This is a lot of work. And first of all, I committed to it. So I'm not going to not do it, because that's not the kind of person I am. If I commit to something, I'm going to see it through all the way. So I think that's one thing. I'm very tied to that as like a character building moment.
Everything you're doing, to me, from a manifestation mindset, I'm like, oh, she's just constantly putting herself in the higher timeline. You're becoming the person that you strive to be and want to become. And you're allowing yourself to do that through all of this, through all the hard work. You're collecting data on yourself. I can do this. I tried really hard. Maybe I failed, but I'm showing up again. I'm giving myself this confidence. I have people that believe in me. I have people that are supporting me. It really is inspiring. In my head, I'm like, okay, I could probably be doing more. I'm sometimes not going to the gym even 3 days a week. And you were doing that on top of a 6-day running schedule. I'm just super inspired.
Yeah. No, I think I'm like, David Goggins popped in my head when you were saying, I Googled this at one point, less than 1% of people will ever complete a marathon. And you're in that. You have definitive proof that I've done this insanely hard physically. But how much of the physical and the mental, like, what do you think is actually more important?
Mental. Without a doubt, it's mental. It all depends and it varies. There are physical limitations that I have in running right now. There are certain times I'm not going to make. I physically don't have the VO2 max, for example, to do that. But I would say most of it's mental. Just doing the things, the training day in, day out, that's all mental. I would just say mindset, character, building yourself into who you want to be. Who are you going to be at the end?
So
I want to go back to what Christina was saying. Speaking of creating 3D proof of this manifestation of the higher self. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Yeah, like you moving into your higher self as you're going through all of these.
yes. Yeah.
Because 18-year-old Adrienne probably wouldn't have believed you.
I know.
Studio art Adrienne would have been drawing.
I would have been drawing. Yeah, and I didn't like running. I think you kind of get addicted to that. I think running and achieving things and going through these processes is addicting because you start to feel a transformation. You do get different insights into things. Running, I find highly meditative. Lifting, I find usually cathartic. Whenever you start to really see and feel those changes in your day-to-day life, you're like, oh, well, am I going to be someone who doesn't do this now? No, I'm not going to do that. I have to keep going now, which I get to keep going now. I have this base. I can't let it go. This is precious. I've worked so hard to get here. I can't. People have worked so hard to get where they've gotten. We can't stop now.
And you can't fake it. You
No,
just fake running a marathon.
no, you can't. That's the other thing I love about it. You can't fake it. You can't.
I always say
love
that about a strong back. You can fake some muscles, but I think you can't fake a strong back. Either
Yes.
you've been working on your back
Yeah.
or you're not. When you
Yeah.
see like someone's back muscles, like, oh,
They worked for that.
Jeez.
It's true.
it's true.
It's true.
So
Mhm.
being into powerlifting, and obviously testosterone is the thing that
Mhm.
massively builds muscle mass, being anabolic.
Mhm.
And if you have a lot of female clients, or if a female wants to
Mhm.
build more muscle mass, like
Mhm.
without taking performance enhancing supplements,
Mhm.
what is the best way for a woman wants to be in powerlifting or is in powerlifting to build muscle mass?
That's a great question. Clients that I have that want to build muscle and they're totally not sure how to do that, I recommend protein. Most people do not have enough protein in their diet. So protein is going to help, carbohydrates are going to help, and a healthy amount of fat will help. Diet is a piece of that as well. It's a huge piece of it, but also progressive overload, i.e., we need to not keep lifting the 5 or 10 pound weights. We need to keep progressing the weight as much as we can, as long as form is on point every week to create stress so our body can adapt. That's how we stimulate change.
One thing I hear from women when I talk to them about, oh, you should get into weightlifting, I don't want to be bulky. I don't want to get bulky. And I think the reality is, even if you lift heavy, it's really hard to get bulky. So what would you advise to people like that are just worried, have that concern that may be more bro science than real science?
Yeah, definitely. That is so common. Women saying, I don't want to get bulky. You won't get bulky. You will not get bulky. It's going to be fine. We're going to get stronger. We're going to have fun lifting weights. We're going to, see how we feel. Notice the changes in our strength and our confidence. You will not be bulky. It takes a lot of effort to gain muscle mass, much less be bulky. It's not going to happen after week 1, any kind of muscle mass. You're going to have to really build that. And even after that, I don't think bulky is the word I would use to describe that physique. I would say, chiseled. We're building muscle. We're not bulky.
Yeah, I love when I hear women say that, because my second thought is, do you know how hard people work in the gym to try and get bulky? There's certain people that want to be bulky, and the amount of effort that they put in and they can't get there. Oh, are you just not paying attention to your diet? Maybe this is something else that you're blaming on the weightlifting. But if you look at a bikini competition, these girls are lifting all the time. They're just constantly lifting so they can get this definition. It does not translate the way that you think it does.
Yeah. And the diet is a huge piece of that. And then also I would ask, what do you mean by bulky? And I think I know what they mean when they say that, but it's like, well, let's talk about what that means, because do you just mean muscular or what does that mean? So then further defining or clarifying potential misconceptions.
I actually didn't go to the gym for like 3 days before today. I golfed one of the days, but I felt so awful today. I had to go before this, or I would have been like super depressed. Not myself.
I'm glad you.
It does give you the endorphins.
Does it? Because I don't think I get it. I don't.
You're like, I need to re-up that.
I never get the endorphins. I'm never like, yes, I did it. I'm like, I guess I got to go do this thing because I want my body to look a certain way. But I don't get the endorphins.
No?
Even after or during?
No. I'm like,
huh,
let me go do this other thing now. I got to go lift this heavy thing. I got to go do that. I just complain in my head the whole time.
Huh. Do you feel like you're challenging yourself in the workouts? Or
Yeah.
is it like old hat? Like, oh, I've done that. Done this.
Well, partly. I mean, the problem with my program, with any of our weightlifting programs, is they're pretty much the same. After powerlifting for 6 years, 7 years, it's like
You feel like it gets monotonous?
I've done all these movements 1,000 times over, and I try to add variety wherever I can. But it is like there's a bit of monotony. But at no point did I ever love it. Just to be clear, like I've never really loved it. I just love that I'm strong, and I love that the way my body looks.
I'm related to this so hard because I literally most days I'm like, I don't feel like lifting, but I go and I always feel better after. But not every lift. Every once in a while, you know that feeling where you like stop noticing what song's on because you're like in the zone. It doesn't happen to me every time though. I can relate to what Christina's saying so hard. And how can people get excited about if they're already someone who does work out, but it has become this monotonous routine? How can someone get excited again?
Yes.
Yeah, help me, Adrienne.
I would say, and perhaps it was never your deep passion, but it's giving you results that you love and, you enjoy it to an extent, but you want to reignite that spark. Think about trying something new, but similar. Maybe calisthenics could be something. You're strong. So we gotta use the strong body to do different things. Maybe like pull-ups, chin-ups. Try and challenge yourself. Challenging yourself in a new way, or maybe think of a way to put your strength to test, but a new expression of that strength. Maybe it's cycling. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's swimming. You never know. Maybe it's rollerblading. I could see you doing that on the 606 with your little. Do you rollerblade?
I was a figure skater, so I feel like I
really?
could easily translate into.
Really?
Awesome.
You know that? Yeah, I figure skating.
I almost said skating. I'm like, that's ludicrous. It's not winter.
As soon as I started walking, my mom had me on skates.
So there you go. Just think of a new way to fall in love with its use.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's so many options too. Summertime.
I obviously like setting goals for myself. Like I just did a photo shoot, physique kind of photo shoot. Maybe it could be something like that. You love how lifting, makes you feel inside, and you love the aesthetic results. So, just trying to find something that's inspiring and brings you back to getting after it.
That actually is the perfect thing that you said to me. Find something that would inspire me to get back to it. Because to your point, again, if I wanted to wear a certain type of outfit and I didn't feel comfortable in it, that would be the motivator. That'd inspire me.
Yeah, so finding something that you want to do, something that inspires you.
Yeah.
World's out there. World's your oyster.
I get that so hard. 'Cause as you guys were talking, I'm thinking, oh, it's because it's like this thing that you just do forever. Like we're never going to stop lifting or whatever our fitness thing is. But then it's okay. Well, what am I working towards?
Yeah.
So I actually went through a funk recently, and I started tracking my PRs,
and
that made it like fun for a little while longer. And then so it's like but even that was like, well, what am I going to just track PRs forever? So I really like this concept of having I'm working towards this thing, and maybe it's not connected to lifting. Maybe the lifting, like I mentioned, a photo shoot, or like maybe I want to wear double XL shirts.
No, I like it.
I feel like some of it's community as well. Finding people that share that passion, because it's not social pressure at all, but it's a social connection maybe. And finding in the gym people lift together and track their PRs together. Maybe you spark a friendly competition with someone. Well, they're doing this, so I clearly want to do more. I do little things like that where I'm like, well, my coach can lift this much. Let's see if I can beat her. It's a friendly thing. It's like, let's just see what we can do.
No, that's a great motivator. It is community. I mean, Adrienne's seen me floating around the gym and chit-chatting with most people, probably too many people sometimes.
Social butterflying. Love it.
And I'm avoiding the workout.
That's so funny.
That's so funny.
I'll pick that up in a couple minutes. Let me go talk to this person.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is community. And that's also the thing that you get when you have a coach is you join this community of people. And I've made so many friends from the gym. I have this whole group of people that I never would have known had I not gone to this gym. And it's really been such a blessing in all areas of my life.
Yeah, for sure. Same.
Adrienne, thanks so much for being so candid with us and sharing so much. Can you share with everyone the details of your business, how they can find you, how they can work with you, your classes, everything?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Stronger in Stride. That is my lifting and running coaching business. You can follow my personal journey at Stronger with Adrienne. I coach in Chicago, Illinois at Rockwell Barbell, and visit me at my website, strongerinstride.com, where you can learn all about my coaching and my class that I teach on Sundays at the gym, Powerful Hour.
I highly recommend the class. You'll see me there if you go.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. Thanks again. It's been incredible.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
It was
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.